Some people can experience very intense withdrawals from porn, while some people's withdrawals can be mild. Withdrawals can be as a result of mental constructs such as withdrawals like boredom, brain fog, or getting huge cravings for porn. And withdrawals can also take the form of actual physical pain that you feel somewhere in your body, like headaches or fever. When I'm just starting NoFap, in the first week or so, I get very intense withdrawals like headaches, fever, and extreme insomnia. But as the days go by, what I'm usually left with as a withdrawal most of the time is just boredom. Bear in mind that the way I experience my withdrawals will always be different from the way you experience yours. But no matter what form of withdrawal you're getting, no matter how intense these withdrawals are, I want you to know right now that withdrawals are temporary. Yeah, I know that right now it feels like the world is about to end and that these porn cravings, this boredom, this headache, this brain fog that you're feeling right now will last forever. But I want you to have that knowingness that withdrawals are temporary. Note that they will eventually subside. And that knowingness is the first step you need to take in order to overcome the withdrawals you're getting from stopping porn and masturbation. But in the meantime, while you're in the first couple of weeks of NoFap and you're getting bombarded with these crazy withdrawal symptoms, you will need to do some things that can help you get rid of these withdrawals as fast as possible. So in this video, we will talk about 3 things that you can be doing that will help you to quickly get out of the withdrawal phase of NoFap. But before we get into it, I want to tell you about a NoFap book that has been helping a lot of addicts overcome their porn and masturbation addiction. No matter how long you've been struggling to complete the NoFap challenge, no matter how many times you've relapsed in the past, this book will help you break free from the shackles of addiction. You can download the book by clicking on the link in the description below. So without further delay, let's look at the 3 ways you can quickly overcome withdrawals on NoFap. 1. Watch out for the dopamine call. When you first started NoFap, you were really excited. You were ready to complete the NoFap challenge and conquer the world. This is because you're really hyped up about the benefits you stand to gain if you can complete the NoFap challenge. But what you notice after the first few days on NoFap is that this excitement gets replaced by chronic boredom. I'm talking about the kind of boredom that you feel like nothing in the world is capable of exciting you ever again. Even if you're among your family and friends, you still feel alone and bored out of your mind irrespective of what you guys are doing. And there's always this voice at the back of your mind telling you to get that excitement you had at the beginning of your NoFap to get it back. You need to get excited again, this voice always says. This voice is what I like to call the dopamine call. The logic with the dopamine call is that you will be tempted to answer the call. And when you start answering the call unintelligently, you get hit with a cascade of other withdrawal symptoms, and this might eventually lead to your relapse. Most of us answers the call, and what answering the call looks like is that you might either go back to porn in sight of this excitement, or you might go binge eating or binge watching Netflix, or start pumping iron at the gym like a crazy person, or start obsessively reading self-help books, or start hanging out with the boys at the bar more than you'd like. It all depends on what your poison of choice is. In each of our own way, we all try to fill this boredom gap and answer the dopamine call. There are 3 ways you can respond to the dopamine call. The first way is the most destructive path, which is looking for other sources of quick and unhealthy dopamine, sources like binge eating, drinking beer every night, or binge watching movies. This path is a time waster, and if you really think about it, it eventually leads to a relapse because you'll eventually go back to porn. The second path is a constructive and positive path. This is when you choose to do things that reward you with natural dopamine rewards, things like reading self-help books, doing HIIT exercises, and so on. If you start doing these things when you get super bored on NoFap, you will notice that you start feeling better as you add days to your NoFap. The only drawback you should watch out for when you take this path is that as good as this path is for you to overcome your withdrawals, it can also lead you to a NoFap relapse, because the tricky thing you need to know about dopamine is that it's like a carrot on a string. You will always want more and you will always chase it, irrespective of whether it's the good kind of dopamine or the porn kind. For instance, when you start exercising to reduce the effects of porn withdrawals, you get an initial rush of dopamine from the exercise you're doing, but there will come a time when you get a sort of calm down where the dopamine stagnates. And since your brain will always want more dopamine, you might be tempted to go to porn for the dopamine excitement. What I would recommend here is, if this is the path you wish to use to answer the dopamine call, have a shift in mindset. Don't approach these good habits as a means to quench the withdrawal fire. Approach them as habits that you would like to form because they are useful habits to form, so that when you're going through the calm down period, you will know that since they are your habits, you will need to show up tomorrow and do them again. Because the more you do these things as a habit, the lesser they calm down and the more the good dopamine you're rewarded with. The third path is a counterintuitive path and is the best way to respond to the dopamine call. This path is a path of acceptance. This is when you know that you will get bored of NoFap, and not only know but also expect it, and not only expect it but also accept it as part of the rebuilding process. What you're supposed to do here is that when the super boredom comes around, you lean into it. You get the call to get busy and engage yourself in something, but don't react to that call. If something to do comes around, then by all means go ahead and do it and be engaged in it, but don't be engaging in things just because you're running away from boredom. This is where regular meditation comes in handy. If you're a regular meditator, then you hand a stranger to boredom, and it's only this path that the withdrawals you're getting will quickly dissipate after a couple of days. Nowadays, it's not easy to be still, but it's worth practicing and doing, because if you lean into your boredom, you get to learn about yourself and your cycle of porn addiction. For instance, if you're the type of person that's looking for a purpose, or the calling is in this stillness and acceptance of what is, that you would know what you're meant to do. 2. Journaling. When you get it with withdrawals and NoFap, you are highly likely to forget what you're doing NoFap in the first place. When you're getting into the thick of it, when you aren't excited to be on NoFap anymore and your brain is having huge cravings for porn, you quickly forget all the many NoFap benefits articles you've read. You are highly likely to take a peek at porn because you're now thinking that completing the NoFap challenge isn't worth the pain that you're currently going through. If you've been paying attention so far in this video, you'd remember one thing I said about withdrawals. And what I said was that withdrawals are temporary. If you can wait them out, either by engaging in good and constructive habits or by accepting and leaning into them, then they will eventually pass. Aside from the fact that withdrawals are temporary, here is another fact for you. Most of the withdrawals you will experience on NoFap are mental constructs. Withdrawals are mostly your body mentally torturing you. How you know this is that why is it that when you are getting bombarded with withdrawals and you decide to give in and watch porn, why is it that these withdrawals subside when you give in? At least getting your fix makes these withdrawals subside for a couple of hours before you get the cravings again and start entering the chaser effect, and you get stuck in the cycle of addiction for another 2 months or so. So if most withdrawals are mental constructs, it's only reasonable to fight these withdrawals war psychologically. And the only way to win a psychological war is to generate a huge amount of necessity. Generating a huge necessity to stay on NoFap is knowing that the benefits of sticking with NoFap far outweighs the hell of giving in to your withdrawals and relapsing. But one thing to know about your mind is that it has a negativity bias. This is when your mind focuses on the negatives and downplays or forgets the positives entirely. So, in the case of NoFap, when you're going through the motions of withdrawals, your mind will be quick to forget the necessity and the reasons why you should stay on NoFap. Due to the forgetfulness and negativity bias of your mind, this is where journaling comes in handy. Journaling grounds your thoughts. And not only that, it separates you from your thoughts and it gives you a clearer picture of the situation. On NoFap, if you journal every day and if you keep writing down why you're doing NoFap and what benefits you're currently getting from NoFap and also the withdrawals you noticed today, a separation occurs. And these thoughts, either good or bad, won't be able to make you succumb to your withdrawals and eventually relapse as a result. In short, journaling converts the negativity bias of your mind into neutrality or a positivity bias. 3. Cold showers. If there was a physical action you can take to instantly relieve withdrawals in NoFap, taking a cold shower would be it. Cold showers stimulates the production of noradrenaline and beta endorphins while sending electrical impulses from nerve endings to your brain. Several studies have found that beta endorphins helps the body to reduce bodily stress and promote homeostasis, which involves pain management, behavioral stability, and also stimulate dopamine reward. You can be assured that cold showers are bound to reduce your anxiety and almost all the acute withdrawal symptoms of porn you're experiencing in the moment. Cold showers acts as an emergency way to reset and wake your body up from the mental chatter of the need to watch porn your brain is trying to give you. So try and incorporate cold showers into your routine when you're on NoFap and watch how your withdrawal symptoms start fading away. Here's a quick recap of all the things we've been discussing so far. We talked about how withdrawals are mostly mental constructs and how they are temporary regardless of how intense they might be right now. And we talked about the 3 things you can do to beat your withdrawals when you're NoFap. And they are 1. Watch out for the dopamine call. 2. Start journaling. And 3. Start taking cold showers regularly. If you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you. Please like, comment and subscribe to this channel for more insightful NoFap videos like this one. See you in the next one.